Hey guys, my name is Nora Franche, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessedness Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. Hey guys, we're reading from Al-Anon's Courage to Change, page 121, April 30th. I have no idea why the faucet in my bathroom started dripping. Handling the situation with great patience, I watched it drip and drip and drip. Sometimes I tried adjusting the knob, but I really expected it to stop dripping by itself. Naturally, it didn't work out that way. The problem got worse and eventually did extensive damage. Finally, I had to call for help. I can't tell you how many problems I've handled in this very way with just as little success. Thanks to Al-Anon, I no longer have to wait for a situation to explode before I face it. One of the most useful tools has been sharing in meetings and with members of the fellowship. When I put my experiences into words, they seem more real, and I am less likely to push them aside. As a result, I can often face problems when they are still only slight irritations and deal with them before they grow and take over. Today, I am not so interested in high drama. I'd rather have a real life. Today's reminder. Today, I will share honestly about something that has been nagging at me. My life deserves attention. And the final quote. One of the most helpful aspects of the Al-Anon Alateen Fellowship is the opportunity we have to voice our dilemmas, confident that we won't be condemned for speaking frankly. That is from Living with Sobriety. Okay. Yes, I think this comes from, first off, I just relate so much. And I think a large part of this comes from this low self-esteem, that things that I see as problems aren't worthy of someone else's time and attention. I think there's also this belief that I don't know how to fix this. I'm incapable of fixing this. Just speaking for myself, this lack of trust in my own capacity to solve problems, which I think has been fed by it's a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of a thing. It just happens again and again. But I don't know how many of you, I can definitely relate to watching it drip, whatever the thing is, with great patience. And even thinking like, man, like I am so patient. I am tolerating this problem. But that's not the call. As human beings striving for emotional sobriety, that is not virtue. To tolerate a problem with patience while taking no action or taking very little ineffective action. It's not that, it's like the serenity prayer. We have to consider what we have the responsibility to change and what we don't. But for the things that we do, it is a responsibility. It is part of emotional sobriety. It is part of working our program to work to solve problems that need to be solved that fall within our ring of responsibility. And yes, I think this comes from, for a lot of us, this tendency to minimize until something explodes. And then it's worthy of our attention. But then we feel like our life is one, we're putting out fires one after the next because we didn't learn that it was okay to address a problem when it was still small, that we wouldn't be being dramatic or making a bigger deal out of things than they are, or being a nuisance. Like, no, if we solve a problem when it's small, that doesn't make us high maintenance. That is a level of prudence that will prevent a problem from becoming something quite explosive or massive. And I think for a lot of us, definitely speaking for myself, I have learned this skill, a maladaptive skill, of ignoring small problems, of tolerating them, of letting them wash over me again and again. And so while that means I can tolerate a good amount of maybe emotional pain, because of that, I tend to allow problems to grow, and I wait to bring my attention to them. And I can see this in multiple areas of my life. And this might be a helpful thing for you to start to, a few things here. What are areas of your life that maybe have become quite explosive? And then if you can identify just little things in your life now, just in today, that maybe you could start to see as small problems. And if you pray for the grace to give them attention, maybe it's something you could attend to here and now and prevent it from growing into something extreme. And to pray for the grace to know that the things you notice matter, that your observations are worthy of time and attention. And lastly, that you are good, your judgment is good and is worthy of help. And if you could try to, on this mindset part, try to identify the thoughts you're having or the beliefs you're operating from that stop you from reaching out for help, that stop you from taking action over something small, or that lead you to holding out until something explodes. And then that's something that we could work on. I could teach you how to work through those thoughts, those beliefs. I could teach you how to become more self-aware, to identify those thoughts and beliefs. That's very hard. That's why that daily accompaniment that I do, I think, is so valuable in the beginning, especially because it is very hard for lots of us who have learned to turn down the knob of our interior life so that we can help other people. We could face outward and not be distracted by our own interior thoughts and pain and emotions. But when we learn how to do this, when we learn to tune back in, when we learn how to listen to what's going on inside, massive change can happen. Massive growth and more fulfillment and happiness. So if that intrigues you, reach out. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you are here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.